the Washington Commanders are doing something we haven't seen before, and at least they're doing something we haven't seen in a really, really long time with the start that they are off to, and it's the way they're doing it. So in this video, we are going to give you some quotes from Terry McLaurin. We are going to talk about just how good this start is and why I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's fake at all, because what you're starting to see now is entirely different. How the way they're winning now is entirely different than the way in which they were winning in the first 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season. This is all really, really exciting. So we're going to get to all of that. But before we get there, if you are new to this channel, we are Lions fans. We don't ever shy away from that. Hey, we're off to a pretty good start too, but we love talking football, especially teams that don't get the love that you always do. It always feels like, at least from a neutral watching from a national stage here in Michigan, the teams that get all the talk in the NFC East, even in your own division, are always those stinking Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants. The Commanders just aren't talked about enough. So we want to be somebody who's absolutely going to do that. So, a couple things for you. This season is off to their best start since 1996. All right, obviously 1996 was a good start. They're off to a 7-2 record. By the way, that 1996 season, in case you're wondering how that ended in 10-6. Yeah, not great, but I'm going to tell you why this one is better. And then before that, of course, it was 1991. It was 1991. All right, because you went 14-2 that year. You won the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills, one of 4 of their Super Bowls that they would lose in a row. But I just wanted to give you a little walk down memory lane. I mean, we're talking almost 30 years since you have had a team start with this type of efficiency, since you have been this good. So the question is, how does it stack up? I'm going to look at a few different things for this, but it's going to start by telling you why this team is different. All right, Terry McLaurin came out, and here is what he said. And he's talking about the Giants here. He said they had our number the last few years, and that's been a reason why we haven't had the success we wanted to have. Now, you're sneezing during videos. Oh, my goodness. He said, but this year is here it is, completely new team with a completely new vibe and feel, and it just... nothing points to that more than our ability to finish when we had to finish against a team that wasn't going to go away. And if you were watching the game, maybe that's how you felt about the Giants. I know that's how I felt. I thought often, I'm like, all right, Washington's going to run away with this. They're clearly the better team, but the Giants simply did not go away. They wouldn't go away. All right? You outgained them on the ground. You you lost the time of possession because they had to have the ball so much at the end, right? You were in the red zone twice as much as they were. I mean, like, when you look at the stats, and they're not as lopsided as you would think. They're really not. But you were the better team throughout the entirety of the afternoon. It's just they simply wouldn't go away. They played hard in the second half. And I think that's some of the things that we're looking at with this team. But when you look at their most recent wins, you had a hard-fought win against a Bears team. You totally dominated them, but they wouldn't go away. You completely blew out the Panthers, and that's what good teams do. They destroy lesser opponents. All right? Yes, you had a hard-fought loss against the Ravens, but before that, 2 blowout wins against the Cardinals, against the Browns. All right, you beat the Bengals in a tight game, the Giants in another tight game, and yes, in the first game of the season, you weren't ready yet with the rookie quarterback and you lost to the Bucs. Everything has changed. But here's why I believe this team is even better now. What we saw in the beginning of the year was a team that won because you had a superior offense. You had a rookie quarterback playing out of his mind, and that was winning you games. Now you are winning because your offense is still good, but your defense is playing well. This is what I like to call, I know this is going to shock a lot of people, complementary football. right? This is something that good teams figure out early on in the season. All right, look at these scores. Is this complementary football? Cardinals, 42-14. Your defense is playing well. Your offense is playing well. All right, special teams. Maybe you're creating turnovers. Browns, 34-13. Everybody's defense plays well against the Browns. All right, Panthers, 40-7. Bears, the offense isn't able to capitalize and get the ball in the end zone as often as it would like to. 18-15. Your defense does the job. All right, not to mention a really great Hail Mary at the end of the game. How awesome was that? As a Lions fan, trust me, I might have enjoyed that as much as you guys did as Commanders fans. I promise you that much. All right, and then the Giants game this week, 27-22. Your defense is coming around, and your defense is starting to play well. And it's this complementary football that I think we at least have to have a conversation about. That is what's so important. All right, when you look at your team, according to PFF, you have a 7-2 record. You have scored the second most points in the NFL. Elite offense, while allowing the 13th most points. But again, a lot of those were in a couple games, right? You haven't been giving up that much. Your defense is graded out at 29th, overall 12th, offense at 5th. All right? There's not as much talent on the defensive side of the ball, at least in the back end, but they're starting to come together. They are starting to gel. So here's the question that I have for you. I have a few of them for you. All right? Throw them in the comments. All right? When we look at the great Washington teams of old, right? What is your favorite team? What's your favorite team, right? Is it the Super Bowl years? What is it, 83, 88, 92? Like, is it one of those teams? Is it another team that you're like, I don't know why, I just love this team? Is it going back to the 70s, right? When they won their first NFC championship, right? But then they lost in the Super Bowl in 72 to the Dolphins. That was a really good Dolphins team, right? What is your favorite Washington team? That's what I would like to know. And then you've had a lot of quarterbacks through the year. Lot of quarterbacks. Who's your favorite quarterback of all time? And yes, you are allowed to cop out and use the current quarterback, Jaden Daniels, if you want. All right, here's what I remember. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm going to go with a crazy memory of mine. It is Gus Frerotte. Who remembers Gus Frerotte? In the 90s, he gets a touchdown and he goes to celebrate by headbutting the wall near the locker room, sprains his neck, out for months. I think he was out for the rest of the year when that happened. I couldn't believe that happened. I'm like, what are we doing right now? All right, it's been some long time. I feel good for you Commanders fans. I understand how it feels to finally get someone under center and get a team and a head coach that is run well. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. I think it'll continue to last, but you never know when an injury happens or something like that. So soak it in. Enjoy the victories. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.